Hi, this is Evan Mumford, and things aren't going 100% for me right now. And that is what it is. But guess what? I'm building a city, and I'd like to invite you to come check it out. So come along with me to my city.
Welcome to Must Be Nice. I am so happy. I finally figured out how to record. Welcome to Must Be Nice. I am your host, Evan Mumford, and we are on episode 10. Episode 10, that feels like a pretty big deal. Who would have ever thought? But we are here, and we are bringing something very important. I feel agriculture. I'm sure the mayor is thrilled, and his citizens are thrilled. And I couldn't be happier as a host because we got my friend Dakota, Ray Hebert, to come in and talk shop about agriculture. She's great. She's a fellow comic. She's currently living in Saskatchewan, Saskatoon. She was in Victoria for a couple months performing her play Salt Baby at the Belfry Theatre. For those who are from Victoria, the Belfry Theatre is a pretty fancy-dancy kind of place, so I feel like that's a pretty big credit. I think that's a big deal what she did. And she just left the other day, actually, so I was lucky to catch her before she went back home. And you guys are gonna love it. She's great. The music on this episode is Grossbuster, which is the coolest name ever. It's my friend Nate in town. He does a lot of live kind of DJ shows. He used to play in bands and stuff, but now he's been doing this Grossbuster project for at least a few years. And what he does is he samples stuff and he edits it in really cool ways. I don't really know what all goes on, but I nevertheless, I'm a big fan. The song I'm playing today is actually kind of a cool edit of Jackson 5 cover, and it has like that cool tin drums, and I love everything about it. Other than that, I am doing pretty good, I guess. I'm getting over a sickness. You can probably hear it kind of crawling out of my throat and escaping my body as we speak, but I'm doing okay. I'm invited to a barbecue, which I'm going to head to very shortly. I'm not really hungry, so I'll just have to kind of fake it, I guess. So it's kind of fun to be taking, a night off stand-up. I just got to go out and enjoy a barbecue. That sounds like an amazing night. For those who are listening, in Victoria, I am doing a guest spot at Heckler's on Friday. You guys want to come see me? I'm just doing like 5 minutes, but the headliner that evening is Trent McClellan. He's actually from Newfoundland. I've seen him a couple times before. He's hilarious. So yeah, check that out if you guys want to go. I don't know if you want to get tickets. We probably have to call. That's kind of on you guys to do the kind of the heavy lifting on that side of things. But other than that, I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy this episode. I love it. I think your mayor is probably thrilled about the whole situation. So please enjoy this episode with Dakota Ray Hebert. Citizens, what's that smell? What's happening? I smell growth. I smell freedom. I possibly even smell food. That's right. You found out about the helipad. You guys are asking questions about it. Don't worry, it's coming with proper food. But I think that leads to complacency. We don't want that. We do want to be on our hands and knees in nature's kind of breath, and we need nothing more than agriculture. We need to learn to defend for ourselves. And I have a friend who from the old world who's going to bring agriculture and gardening, and she says she can do it. I am hesitant personally, but I think you guys know, as citizens, we need this. Before the big shipment comes in, we need some kind of life lessons, self-sustaining. I'm sick of the poutine, quite frankly. The shipment's gone awry. It's the poutine is getting worse by the day. We need this. So please welcome Dakota. Sorry, who are you?
I'm Dakota Ray Hebert. Hello.
Dakota? Hello,
Mm-hmm.
Dakota.
Hello.
Welcome to my city.
Thank you.
Sorry, our city. I have citizens. I should.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you want to bring? What's?
This was a real doozy. I was trying to think, what I want to bring, and I think, food, egg, growing some food.
Everyone says that, but you're the first one. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm going to bring food. Then he ends up bringing dialect and slang.
I know, I heard the slang. Yeah, that was great. Burning down a water house or whatever it was.
Down the water house.
Yeah.
What is a water house?
Isn't that what was one of the slangs?
Water park.
Water park. Burning down the water park.
I mean, if you can turn you could make a park out of water. Why couldn't you make a house out of water?
Yeah, water house. What was that? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So you're bringing food.
Bringing food. Now, my citizens know I just installed a helipad, which is for food delivery more than anything. But you want to bring probably agriculture, nature.
Yeah, like self-sustaining food, I think. Or
Self-sustaining food.
Well, no, I said that weird. Food so that citizens can self-sustain.
Like Go-Gurt would be a prime example of
Yeah, or like like your helipad is kind of skip the dishes-y, and that it delivers food. But I think there's something nice about going and digging up your own carrots and stuff.
I think you're right. But when you bring nature into it, you want to work outside just sustenance. You want to be part of the land.
Yeah, you do.
Okay,
Yeah.
why?
Well, I think you're more cognizant of what you're doing. I guess I'm actually just throwing out big words now to sound like I know what I'm doing. But I think you become more aware of the outdoors and just the process of growing your food and nourishment and taking care of yourself and the land. Because I think, I mean, I don't know if you've ever tasted a difference between a store carrot and a garden carrot or garden peas. Like just anything that's garden fresh tastes like 100 times better.
I've never tasted a carrot. They're like the pointy things, right?
Yeah, the snowman noses.
You're right.
Yeah.
You snowman noses?
Yeah.
I use Go-Gurt tubes for those as well, strangely enough.
Yeah.
So you're talking garden fresh vegetables versus like superstores boxed carrots.
Yeah, like I think those things are giant.
Those things are way too big.
They're like I mean you could have like I can barely, if I put one of those store-bought vegetables into a soup, that I'm gonna have so much soup just for myself. It is incredible. And then I think because you can't just like cut a carrot in half and be like, oh, cook with that other half.
You cannot do that.
It's later.
You cannot do that.
Look like a psycho.
Those psychopaths who buy so many veggies, load their fridge up with all these veggies,
and then
use like a snippet of grass for one of them, and then it just melts away.
And then they order skip the dishes anyways. Like,
God,
I'm just looking at a mirror right now because that's exactly what I do. I think I have all this health food, and then I wake up and I'm like, no, I need other things.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you buy the fancy toothpaste and just end up using dish soap in your mouth anyway.
Yeah. Then you don't even brush your teeth. Yeah,
no.
It's like,
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, I like that. I like that I don't have to use my helipad yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Let's avoid that probably.
Yeah, I think like just in terms of if you want to keep your emissions low, your carbon footprint minimal in your city. I don't know, because like food is important. I mean, do you have to ship out to get the seeds?
Seeds.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean seeds? How do you get a seed?
What came first, the plant or the seed?
I'm not joking. I don't know the
neither
answer.
do I. I've like not planted a garden ever in my life. I'm just on Pinterest a lot, and gardening looks so good.
You're an armchair botanist.
I'm an armchair botanist.
They're playing Rifflandia this year. If anyone wants to see armchair botanist. Okay, yeah, but you're right. I mean, you're the first logical person. You came to me. You were like, "Hey, Evan, I like you. I hear you have a city, and your citizens are gaunt and dying.
Yeah.
How about food?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to use my helipad yet. I want to use nature because, but do I have to bring in seeds? Do you bring seeds?
I think, that's something to scavenge too. I think like as long as I hear you have an education program.
I do.
In your city. Yeah. So I think through that, I think citizens would be able to check out books or read stuff and find out what seeds and what plants are naturally in their habitats, and then so it'd be a bit of a scavenge to go and find them and
like a scavenger hunt.
Decide what they would like to plant in their own backyards. It's something to be discussed if they want like a community garden.
Oh yeah,
where citizens could maybe like, oh well, I know where to find this or this these seeds are in my reach. And then I think it's a whole other discussion too to talk about ranching. Do people want to ranch too? Because animals is food.
Animals are food. We have animals roaming the countryside. At this point, they're just there for friendship. We haven't harmed them.
Oh, perfect. So then, if you can just keep harvesting beans, you'll get your protein, I guess. Yeah.
How do you harvest beans? This is why I brought you, Dakota.
I know, yeah.
I know the concept.
All right.
Of food.
Well, yeah. I think it's like you just have to. I think putting together some sort of meal plans as a city, meal plan, and I don't know, figuring out like what do we need if we don't want to eat these luscious, delicious animals that are roaming the countryside. Then what steps can we put in place to ensure that we don't need that? Do we have supplements for iron for women? Because we get hella anemic.
You get anemic
we
real
get
quick.
hella anemic, and so that has to be in place.
Because you bleed. Is that what it is?
That's mostly that's mostly it. Yeah, that's mostly because of that.
The drain.
The drain, the monthly drain. Me and my family and friends call it moon time because it sounds pretty and almost poetic.
That does sound poetic.
It's very beautiful. I say moon time, not the drain.
Okay. Iron's a big one. Now, would iron be in beer? We do have beer, which is harvested from bread, which...
Yeah, you know what? I don't know really anything about the brewing process, but maybe if you put it in something irony, if it was like brewed in something iron-ish, would that just like leach out of that, and then
you brew it in like a metal tin?
like an like an iron barrel or something, and
I could probably track down an iron barrel pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think something like that. Maybe that's how you could also get your iron, but then does alcohol leach iron out of your system?
It leaches friends more than anything.
Finances.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I think there's lots of ways to get your iron in too. You have to have just like so much spinach being grown.
Well, that's it too. So I have no problems with spinach, but again, I'm worried about I can't get my airplane guys to bring in seeds. That seems like an unnecessary trip.
Oh yeah.
I want to harvest the ground.
Yeah.
Do you think with education, we have an education system in place?
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
It's just what you pick up, you share amongst your people.
Absolutely.
Community garden, I'm 100% for.
Yeah.
Why have separate gardens?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's that whole button soup. What is that? Do you remember that story as a kid?
No.
Or that rock soup? I don't know. Borscht soup. It's this story of this like poor town. This town, and this I guess this beggar kind of comes through and is like, "Hey, does anyone have extra food?" And everyone's like, "No, we're poor. Go feed yourself." So then he sets up in the town square this like big pot of water, and he puts some rocks in it or some buttons, whatever the story version you're hearing. And people kind of peering out. He goes, "You know what? This button soup it tastes so good right now, but it could really use some onions and carrots." And then so someone's like, "I actually have a bit of onions and carrots." And so they come and they throw that in there, and he says, it's getting there, but we could really use some potatoes.
Right.
And so eventually the whole town comes together and they bake this giant pot of soup, and then everyone's able to eat and be fed and nutritional.
I've never heard this story.
And nourished. Yeah, no.
But the analogy's there already. We have poutine.
Yeah. So yeah.
Chives.
Yes.
That's a vegetable, isn't it?
That's a vegetable. Yeah.
They're weird and gross. I wouldn't ever hang out with a chive. Like if I was another vegetable, I would stay away from them. Breath, the whole deal.
Yeah.
No nutrients, but that's a garnish. If you can grow a chive, you can grow a rhubarb. Aren't they both weeds?
They stick out. Yeah, they come from the same ground.
They do.
Yeah.
I just don't know where to get seeds. I'm hung up on the seeds.
You're hung up on seeds. Well, I think I think it depends. You just gotta go and forage. You gotta see what your land is already growing and capitalize on that. You gotta really do some. There has to be some sort of exploration being done. I guess
we haven't done much.
Done much exploration.
No, I've given the plot of land. I just recently discovered there's a lake.
Ooh,
right?
So
a lake would have
fish.
You're right. We would have fish. I was thinking we would have things like moss and fungus.
Oh yeah, well that too.
But
some of it's edible, but I don't know if you'd want to eat it. You want to keep that for your fish to eat. So that they get big and juicy.
We probably have nice fish.
You probably do, like untainted, non-chemical fish.
Can we eat fish?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know they say a lot of fish don't form familial bonds. They might not have the pain receptors.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is that a question I can ask you?
You know what? They're the only animal that I can kill without feeling bad about myself.
That's
so,
right.
I mean, that's kind of my gauge. I still feel bad, but not bad enough to not kill and eat a fish. So,
look, I feel bad, but I'll take an electric net to a lake. Very
but I
quickly.
will bring all my dynamite with me. Yes, I will do that. And then I don't have to touch them. They're just dead.
That is a funny concept. You know when like people, number one, I don't know why children get goldfish in the first place.
Yeah, is that just a lesson on death?
That's a lesson on just malfeasance on every angle.
Yeah.
Because you see your goldfish die, and inevitably it goes away, and you're so sad about it. But you're eating all this meat, and that cow was fucking cooler than your goldfish, bud.
It learned things. It had families.
Yes.
Yeah.
That goldfish was a piece of shit.
Yeah, that goldfish cost 5 cents, and your tank costs like 8,000 times more than that fish. And the feed alone, like, it's just that's a drain.
That is a drain.
You're just throwing your money at this fish.
Are goldfish edible? Do people eat?
I think they can get big. I mean, you could, but I think
Yeah.
it's like that weird thing where, like PETA activists would be like, where do you draw the line? And it's like, you can eat a jackfish, but not a goldfish. I don't know.
That is the thing. I read that vegans sometimes eat like oysters. It was a Peter Singer who wrote Animal Liberation.
Yeah.
He's like, you can eat an oyster because it's heart. There's no heart beating.
What?
Or there's just a heart beating. What is an oyster?
I don't know.
can't
It just
afford
seems
them.
like mush in a shell. I will collect the shells. I will be that freak weirdo who's sitting outside of a seafood restaurant, just like carrying buckets of eaten shells because they look cool, and then bringing back to my house.
So cool.
I'm a mainlander. So, yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough we have the coast where we live in this beautiful city. We have the coast.
That's awesome.
We're not really by the beach, but we have the lake.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of like a grimier beach.
Yeah.
It's a beach light. And I never thought about fishing before. But I think that's not what you're here to bring. You're bringing agriculture.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
You're avoiding the seeds issue.
Yeah. Gosh, I think maybe we'll have to use your helipad. I think you have to go
Yeah.
around, figure out what seeds you already have, what plants you already have, what edible plants you already have.
Edible plants right away. Name
Edible plants.
Name drop.
Yeah, name drop.
What?
Okay, well, you probably have. I like to think that you'd have like wild berries. You'd have blueberries, raspberries, strawberries to forage. I'd like to think that you would have some. I don't know, God, what occurs naturally? I'm just thinking of herbs and berries that I know just occur. Like you can have lots of dill. You can have the tastiest dill soups and salads.
You think I've got dill just growing?
You got dill. Dill's like a weed. It's everywhere.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm
did
pretty
not know
sure.
that.
And that gets carried out. I'm thinking. I mean, if you have birch, you could tap into that, and you'd have some nice birch sap. That's tasty.
That is good, isn't it? Mm-hmm. How would I
And pine
forage
gum.
that?
You got to cut a little hole into your birch, and then you make like this kind of tiny little spout thing, and you put the little spout in there, and then you put like a bucket underneath of that, and that catches the birch sap. And then when you're done filling up what you need to, you take it all out. Generally, you use like a pine gum. You chew some pine sap into pine gum, and then you'd cover that. You can plug that hole, and that's kind of how you tap a birch tree.
Is that enough to keep people going?
It's like water. It's clean water. So if you're ever lost in the bush,
Oh, really?
you do that. It probably would take. You have to tap into a couple trees.
Is there nutrients?
Yeah, it's also got some nutrients. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so you can
Can we just do that?
just do that too. But that's for fresh water,
Fresh water, at least. Yeah,
or fresh fluids. Yeah.
that's a really good idea. So we're gonna do that. I like
Yes,
that.
Yes.
If we do bring in seeds, if we get the helipad boys, it's quite a. By the way, the helipad thing, it's a whole immigration issue. It's a big thing. They have to do illegal things to get here.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal for them. They're usually like slinging cocaine and stuff,
Yeah.
slinging spinach seeds.
Well, now you can use the seeds as a cover. So you put a whole bunch of seeds on top of the cocaine, and you say,
Right.
we're bringing in all this food.
Yes.
This is for the people, and it's really expensive because we're flying in and out. That's why.
That's why.
So that's why you have a market price on these seeds. And then eventually, I'm sure, people get sleazy enough where they want to bring in already grown plants. So then, they don't have to spend that time waiting for them. So
I am such a not smart person.
Mm-hmm.
If someone brought in cherry tomatoes,
Yeah.
cherry tomato plant, would we need seeds after we have the initial plant?
Oh, no, I don't think so. No,
You just
you
keep-
honestly, yeah, like you just have to bring in probably like one shipment of seeds of things that you don't have
Yeah.
already surrounding. And then, yeah, like I think what you do is for each successful plant that you have, you take a couple of the fruits off or veggies or what have you to keep around so that you can keep those growing. And eventually, I think like when they through cross pollination and stuff, they just keep getting better and better, or worse and worse. So
One of the two.
yeah.
Interesting. See, I know nothing about this.
Well, I hope you have bees, because that's also the only way that you're gonna have is if we have bees or other things that help pollinate.
We do have bees. I've heard the complaints. I've heard the complaints.
Okay, good.
We have more bees than these people have ever seen. So that's they pollinate.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
When you say pollinate, look, I'm not a smart man.
I'm not.
Pollinates when they like they fart on like a plant.
Yeah, like they dance, they get their little noses in there to soak up some I don't know if it's a pollen they eat or just juices in there.
Yeah.
I'm ignorant to what bees eat, but I know that when their cute little butts are bouncing around the flowers, a lot of pollen falls into other flowers around it or like other plants, and that fertilizes that plant into growing the things they need to grow.
That the whole process is fascinating to
Plant
me.
sex is wild.
Is that what it is? That's
Yeah,
plant sex.
That's plant sex.
I will let you know I don't have sexuality in general in my city. No,
That makes things way easier.
oh, it's so everything's great.
Yeah.
We're hanging out. We're all having fun together.
Yeah,
No one's being sexual. There's been no touching of any groins.
that's good.
Nothing like that. But introducing plant sex before human sex seems to be the way we're going to have to do it.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting though, like if there was like a plant sex porno site, but it's just like flowers bumping into other flowers and like bees get in there, so it's like a beesome, that's how I was stupid. Getting busy. And then what people I'm just like now I'm picturing your citizens like just like trying to like bump into each other, like how pollens bump into each other.
That's funny. Like the babies born in the city don't know what human sex is. They've only
they're
seen
just
the
like,
porno.
oh, we probably just cross pollinated.
That's
Like if
fun.
anyone sneezes on someone, they're like, "Oh God, I hope you're not pregnant." Like,
I wish that's how it would work.
oh man, yeah, that'd be just like, what if everyone would have masks, gas masks on?
But yeah, if you have allergies, forget
If you have
it.
allergies, you are just hella fertile. Like everyone knows to stay away from you.
Well, that's fun. Okay, so we've kind of worked around the seeds issue. You're like instead of answering the question, you're like, just bring them in.
You know what? Just bring them in.
Bring
I
'em
mean,
in.
like that's the only way I can think. Like I don't, unless you have the technology to create your own seeds and play God with that. But then then you'd also have the GMO seeds too, right? Like half-ass GMO seeds.
Genetically modified.
Yeah. Like they'd be more like test tube seeds or petri seeds if your scientists create.
I'm not
created them.
against that.
Yeah.
I think nature's steered me wrong so many times. Bring in the science
Yeah, have you
guys.
tasted Brussels sprouts? Those are disgusting.
Those are disgusting.
God.
Those
Yeah.
have never been good once.
No, don't plant those.
No. Brussels sprouts. Hey, can you live off? Are there vegetarians in the wild? Meaning, can you just live off foraging without killing animals?
I know there's quite a few indigenous friends I have who are doing it, and they all get roasted because there's like this native joke where it's like, you know what vegetarian is in our language, it means bad hunter, and that's like that's a classic. But I know there are lots of indigenous peoples in the old world where we are.
Yeah, old world.
Where
Yes.
that are vegetarians and vegans even. And I think there is some studies too that's like some tribes just like if they couldn't hunt, then they just made do with whatever. Like not by couldn't hunt, but like just didn't have any luck with some animals.
Right.
Or like when contact happened and the bison were all being killed murderously. And,
Yes.
so that we couldn't eat. Then I think there was other ways that they had to find their
Right.
protein and iron sustenance and stuff. So yeah, like you can definitely just survive off the land in terms of plants and vegetation.
Very interesting. I want to start with that.
Yeah.
I do. Because with the old world, I don't know, man. I'm so confused by everything.
Yeah.
I'm always confused. Like I want to be a vegetarian, but I can't because of convenience and this and that. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that I would like to be a vegetarian. I remember when I was a kid, I was like 9 years old, and I wanted to be a vegetarian. And my parents were pretty set against that. And it was such an argument. Like I had to eat like 4 pieces of steak or 4 pieces of meat.
Yeah.
At least like at meals, that was at least what I had to eat. But then I didn't have to finish the rest of my meat. Like I think my mom was a little more courteous in that aspect than my dad. And then I remember in high school, I was like, I just had 2 gnarly incidences with some animals that I've witnessed butchered, I guess. And I was just kind of kind of put off by that. And so I was like, no, I'm not eating meat anymore. But then that lasted a month, and I just pretty much ate hash brown casserole, and I was so sick. And I just remember one day calling my dad and being like, can you get me like a quarter pounder with cheese from McDonald's, please? And he came by with a double quarter pounder with cheese, and he was so happy I was finally off my vegetarian kick. I was like, yeah. So, and I think it just is. It's a matter of convenience. It's a matter of every time I go out, I mean, I also think it's like there's this book where it's like eat for your blood type. Mm-hmm. And I really do think that it is like I feel like I need meat. Like that's just who I am as a person, and like not just like pork and chicken, but I crave steaks, like red meat, and it's really I use this as a weird analogy, but when a flower is wilting and then you give it water and sun and it perks right up again, that's how I feel after I've eaten a steak. Like I think most people feel like heavy, like whatever, but I'm like, oh, I feel so
eat for your blood type.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's my blood type is like just a cow killer. I guess it so sucks, but
yeah,
because cows are so cute and I love them so much.
Yeah,
but
that's interesting. I remember I was vegetarian. I really was for 5 years.
Oh wow!
What happened to me was I watched. What's that movie? Rob Schneider's The Animal.
Oh,
I've never seen an animal butchered so bad. It was just, I did date somebody who was vegan.
Yeah.
But she was like, as you said, like anemic.
Yeah.
I remember she used to have to get like iron shots once a week.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't even a vegan. I was just sick. I just ate Wendy's every day and Doritos for 2 years. And I had chest pains. I was like 20. And I remember like one time my chest pains were hurting more than usual. So I went to the hospital. And they hooked me up to all these machines. And that was actually frightening. The doctor came back and he was like, okay, so normally we think this is cancer because your iron stores are being leached out of your bone marrow. And like my heart stopped because I was like, you can't drop the C word on me. I'm 20 years old. I just got out of theater school. Like I have to fail as an actor first. Like, God, let me just watch my dreams crash and burn. But that's when he was like, no, we just think like you've not been taking care of yourself. Like, what have you been eating?
Yeah.
And like, just like, all the memories of me like eating at Wendy's. Like,
just wait, doesn't Wendy's have like 9 patties per burger? Is that like the most iron you can get?
Yeah, but I was eating chipboard chicken. It was the spicy chicken sandwich meal, supersized. With
you got bamboozled
nuggets.
by the chicken.
That's the thing. I always chipboard chicken and deep fried chicken is my favorite, and it has like no nutrients at all. And so it was like my total was $10.68 every lunch and dinner, and then my bag of Doritos for a snack at night. Like I don't even know how I pooped in like the 2 years. Like all I ate was cheese and.
May I ask you a personal question?
Yes.
What kind of Doritos?
Just regular nacho, or just regular. Just regular nacho cheese, not the zesty, and the red bag. I like the red bag.
Mm-hmm. Can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like I liked you thus far until you said that.
Yeah,
that's like the Halloween trick or treater.
I know.
I'll take what you can get.
No, but I get like the big Costco bag.
Your neighbors are better. Like
I know. What? I don't. The zesty ones are they mean zest.
I'm not talking zesty. I'm talking sweet chili heat.
Oh, you want fancy ones?
Same
price.
Know
what? I'm low maintenance.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that comes back to agriculture.
Yeah,
get what you need.
Get what you need, and be happy with enough. That's something that I've been learning too. Is like I feel like like as a grown up, and all of a sudden now it's like up to me to feed myself. Like I still for some reason have it in my head that I'm still living with 6 people or what have you. So I end up just like hoarding all these colorful fruits and veggies, and just like watching them just melt
disappear
in my fridge. Or
this is good. I mean, we are talking community though. You are in this city. We are all living as one.
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, so if you have more than you take out more than you need from the garden, you just go and give it to someone else. Like I think that should just be the standard in life, just in general. Is if this is like going.
This is utopia.
This is Oh my God, I want to live here.
You're not allowed.
Oh, no.
Sorry. I mean, you're welcome to apply for citizenship. Like all my guests.
Yeah.
None have thus far.
Okay.
It's quite a strict process.
Okay.
But it's nice to have you here for the day.
Yeah.
Where would this garden be?
I think ideally, I mean, it depends on how widespread your city is already.
It's roomy.
It's roomy.
There's room for a garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I would suggest like I mean, having a main one in your downtown core or where the most citizens are.
Yep.
But I think it'd be really important to have several gardens spread throughout the city as well for those who are maybe not able to travel as much downtown, like for elderly or maybe people who have less than who don't have a vehicle or
Sure.
maybe are injured. Or
There are no vehicles thus far.
Exactly. Yeah. So just like ways where it's more accessible for all of your citizens.
That's a very nice concept. Benefits me. I'm the only one who doesn't live down there. So they all live in subsidized housing, just the way things are going right now. But so I'll build private gardens for myself.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm out of the way.
Yeah.
I like to keep to myself.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
we'll have a main garden amongst the city. I got a bank. I've got a bar.
Yeah.
I've got a French culture unit.
Yes.
I've got a sports stadium. I've got an art museum. I think, where should the garden go?
Could be anywhere where it's going to get a lot of sun. So having it next to the sports stadium might not be the best because the sports stadium will probably shade out a lot of that.
Yeah.
That being said, there are some plants that like shade, so you could maybe surround your sports stadium with a bunch of was it rosemary and cilantro?
What rosemary? Am I opening?
Plants that no, but something you need tasty things, that make your fake things that make your stews and your roasts and your.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, we don't have meat. I see. I'm just planning for meat soups.
Right?
It's for your soups.
Okay.
And I mean, yeah, you could still have stews with chickpeas and stuff like that.
I'm
and
sure there's
beans.
one witchcraft artist here that can use the
Absolutely
herbs if we
Yeah.
don't use. What plant would need shadow? What plant would
Shade?
need shade?
The shadow. I mean, there's a few of them. I was just reading about this last week. I do think there's several herbs that prefer shade or like shade. I think that any kind of plant that just would burn out right away. But I think it's all so you'd want something that's near that has access to sun, but also it depends on how hot your city gets. What's your
Location?
Yeah,
We're undisclosed for your knowledge and for anyone who's listening to the broadcast. We're undisclosed, but we do know we're West Coast, Canada.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what we know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Sweet. So
We get sun. We're fine.
You get sun.
We're
yeah,
fine.
and not a whole bunch of sun.
No.
And you do get rain. So yeah, I think no matter where you put your garden, it should be fine. It's just a matter of how big you want your plot to be.
Do I shelter it?
I mean, I think you'd have to. I don't know. You could. I think come wintertime, it'd probably be best to have sort of a greenhouse around it.
A greenhouse meaning you contain it with some fancy dancy.
That cool plastic stuff. I think.
What does that do? Does it keep in all the?
I think it's greenhouse. It keeps in heat, I'm assuming, and it maybe traps some of the sun's rays so that plants are able to eat the sunlight.
Is that what it is?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah, that's. So stuff like that. I think it'd be cool. Something I want to do is someday, should I ever have my own acreage with hills, there's underground greenhouses that people are building now, or that they're partially underground. Which is more so for in places where it's winter, with snow, lots of snow. Because when you build it enough into the ground, it retains a lot of heat, and so I think that looks cool. But
a bunker.
Yeah, it's bunker-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm obsessed
with
with
a greenhouse
bunkers.
top. Yeah, but it just looks really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I like that. But
That is, to be honest, from the old world. That's one thing I don't like about gardens.
yeah,
They're just kind of, hey, here I am, and everyone who's gardening such like a gardener.
yeah, you really
You know what I mean?
you cross out. I'm not even there yet, and I'm already
Yeah.
that person.
Right?
I've been Pinteresting nonstop. I already know exactly once I get home how I'm gonna garden. I'm already hey, my uncle's house. I'm excited to go over and garden in his backyard.
It's a whole thing. There's never just a dude who comes home from work and gardens. It's always
Yeah.
hey, I'm a gardener now.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. I think it's also just as a kid, I always wanted to be a part of our family's garden. I think we had a garden 1 or 2 summers, and I was always so excited. I wanted to go weed. I wanted to go do whatever. My parents were just we just weren't. That's not what was not our chores. It was not on our tasks to go do that. Which kind of I think that's why I'm so hell bent on having my own garden now. Because I'm now I'm allowed to do this. Look out, mom and dad, growing my own carrots.
I think what I'll do just to curb it.
Yes.
I don't want all my citizens to be gardeners.
Yeah.
Because I disrespect gardeners as a rule. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to siphon off about 5 people.
Yes.
And I do know those people who I don't particularly care for at this point.
Yeah.
They're going to be good. We're going to get some education in place. They'll know how to garden the seeds that are going to come in.
Yeah.
What seeds should we get in for shipment? What's
Yeah.
important?
I think just like in terms of staples, I think potatoes, because they're great. They're great for just as fillers. Sometimes
Yes.
you just need a filler and an affordable filler.
Number one, we have poutine,
Yeah, so you already have potatoes.
but that we just have.
Oh, you just have fries.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you need actual potatoes. Well, then this will also cut down on your, I guess, your poutine cost, because this is just you're cutting out some sort of fry cutting middleman, I guess. So,
Well,
but yeah,
the poutine. What the deal is with the poutine? The person who brought it,
yeah.
the French woman, MJ.
MJ.
She was great. She brought French culture.
Yeah.
Part of the culture is poutine. She had brought with her a shipment of pre-made poutine.
Oh wow.
It was quite a sight. It was
Yes.
disgusting. Poutine is not a pretty thing to look at.
No.
First thing in the morning.
No, not in the first thing in the morning.
Right. That's end of the night.
That's like end of the night hungover brunch.
Yes.
That's my kids keep asking me for poutine, so I guess I'll just make them this for supper. That's yeah.
That's kind of the concept. We wanted to introduce poutine as a thing that it's just a staple. I'm having food. I love poutine.
Yeah.
It's not this gross variable.
No, yeah.
But yeah, okay. So potatoes are fine.
Potatoes are fine. I'd say carrots, celery, those things are great. I mean, celery is relatively tasteless, but it's a filler. And it's great for soups. I would say onions and garlic, because you put that on everything and it is always and I'd say like variety of onions. I personally don't like red onions, so boo into that, but I understand some people like it in salads. What else? Peppers. Peppers are great.
Peppers are good.
They're really colorful. I'd say some sort of like lettuce or spinach, some sort of leafy thing. Lettuce is like 92% water, and spinach has at least some iron. So
iceberg lettuce.
yeah.
That can't even be good for you.
Well, I just think it's so wild that it's like 92% water, and I'm like, how can that be possible? But then like humans are like 75% water, and so it's like
right.
we're weird watery freaks. Like that's all. Like our bones are like what 25%. The rest is just water. This makes no sense.
That is kind of sad.
Yeah, like we're just like that's just us.
I think of myself as so much more than a Dasani water bottle.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much just holding water.
That's what it is.
We're
like,
water
just with
bottles.
flesh. Yeah, we're fleshy water bottles. Like that's all we are. And even our flesh is water.
Fleshy water bottles. That is all humans are. All right, Dakota.
Yes.
I think we are finally getting somewhere.
I think we are too.
I didn't know the seeds would be the biggest.
I didn't know. I think, which came first, the plant or the seed, is definitely mind-boggling for me.
I think I need to talk to some people.
I know. I'm like, I have to get home and discuss with an elder, like, what, how, and like, what was on, like, for like Turtle Island, for example, like in the old world, what was just naturally grown here, and then what has been brought. Like, or in the terms of travels, because, like, did we have just wild carrots? There I am, carrots again. Wild beets. Did we have wild potatoes everywhere? Like, what? I knew we had corn. What? Like, south, our southern cousins had corn. But
what did I learn as a child?
I know. How do we not taught this?
I feel ridiculous.
I learned a lot about wheat. But that's because, like, in Saskatchewan, there's lots of wheat and canola. Canola becomes, like, margarine? I don't know. I don't even know that.
Isn't margarine made from plastic? Or is that just too many conspiracies?
I think it turns into plastic.
I'm reading conspiracies left and right. My brain is like, did margarine kill JFK? Like, I haven't pieced them together yet.
Oh, my goodness. You're right. Yeah. Margarine's an inside job.
Margarine's definitely an inside spread.
Margarine does make me a bit squeamish. I think I do much rather prefer butter. It just tastes better. 10 out of 10.
It tastes
Margarine
better.
Is like
it's real, as you said. It's from the ground.
It's real. It's grown.
I'm happy with that. I think you've explained that well enough. I have the garden kind of half in the shadows.
Yeah,
right.
Some in the shadows, some in the not shadows, and kind of placed throughout the city so that so that food is accessible to all.
Food is accessible to all. Mm-hmm. What should we be doing if we're not getting meat? Should we just be cooking these vegetables?
I think they're a way to preserve. Like preserves are big. You can make some salsas. You can make pickled carrots, pickled beets, pickles.
Yeah, but salsa comes from. You need vinegar.
How do you get? How
do you get vinegar? This is why I brought you, Dakota. I don't know how to make
I
vinegar.
don't know. Is vinegar come from a plant too? It's gotta, right?
Why would it?
Can I Google? Can I ask the oracle?
You cannot Google.
Oh my
You
god.
cannot Google anything.
Okay, vinegar. Okay, if I was vinegar, where would it come from? It sounds like it's a plant. I bet you it's a plant. But is it just something? Oh, you know what? Because red wine vinegar is it just like it's acidified on its own?
Is it just sassy water? Is that what vinegar is?
Yeah, like super sassy.
It's a
you know
sassy
what? Here's
water.
what you do: is you start a big industrial complex somewhere
Yes.
outside the city,
Okay.
and then just pollute the fucking air with it,
Okay.
and then you'll have acid rain, and that could be vinegar. That could be vinegar.
That's acidic.
Is that it? Is that it's acid?
Is that
rain?
what I need to do?
Vinegar water? I don't know. I don't think that's where vinegar came from.
I really don't know.
Okay, so you can't pickle things without vinegar, and we don't know where vinegar comes from.
Where does vinegar come from?
Yeah, so okay.
You are bringing the knowledge to me.
Well,
You're
for
all I
egg,
have.
yeah, but vinegar, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows where that comes from?
I feel like it squeezes out of something. Like,
I feel like, is it just like, like soybeans make soy sauce, right? Soy milk.
yes.
So there's got to be a vinegar bean somewhere, maybe.
You think there's a vinegar bean?
or like a vinegar plant.
I don't know.
You know what? That's what it is. And it's some sort of plant that you grow, and then you just let it sit there and ferment, and then eventually it becomes vinegar.
It becomes
or
this
something.
naughty substance.
Some sort of terrible thing that burns when you drink it straight. So you put it in your plants. Or you could dry out your plants. You'd plant as you go. So it's like you'd plant this section here, like with whatever you'd want to be eating in the next few weeks. And then like 2 weeks later, you'll plant another section. And then by the time you plant another section, a few weeks later, that first section should be ready to harvest. And then you just keep
rotating
that cycle. Yeah.
Keep
so
rotating. I like that. And you mentioned soybeans. Those have to be important, right?
I think they'd be important.
Protein.
I mean, it's protein. Yeah, it's fancy appetizers, edamame. Is that what it's called in restaurants? So yeah, so that's what you do.
What about chickpeas?
Chickpeas.
Is that politically correct? Number one.
Yeah. Oh,
Fancy lady peas.
Yeah, fancy lady person peas. Yeah, chickpeas. I think that'd be something to really put your money on and plant. Because you can do everything with chickpeas. I think you can make nice hummus, nice dips. If you put enough of them together, you can make a nice vegan burger patty.
You definitely could.
Yeah, like
I've done that.
You've done that, yeah. Like I think there's just like it's really.
Well, what's hummus? I love hummus.
Yeah, it's just like chickpeas. You could put roasted garlic and red peppers. My roommate made hummus. It's one of those things where I think like there's a lot of effort that goes into making hummus, and it just costs like so much, like what, $3 at the store.
It's nothing.
It's nothing.
I can get a vat of hummus off a guy for 25 cents.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so get it off that guy.
But is there vinegar in hummus when you cook it?
I don't know. Maybe. I think you just like cream a whole bunch of chickpeas. Like you have to like shell the chickpeas,
right?
And then I think you just like cream them together and make your own makeshift hummus. I think avocados would be good because you can use that in place of like.
Look, we're not getting avocados. Subway just got avocados. They've been around since the 30s.
They did, hey?
Like this was like a recent thing. They're like, yeah, we'll give it a shot.
Oh yeah, avocados. Oh wow.
Right?
Those goofballs.
Well, I think it was after the Fogel thing. They're like, we need to recoup the
brand. They were like, we just need we can't we need to be young and hip.
Yes, exactly.
We can't be seen with that. God, we're on avocado toast now.
Yeah. Well, then it brings up the argument of good fats versus bad fats.
Well, it's just anything in moderation. Like I think if you eat 8 avocados a day, it's not going to be good for you. Like healthy fats are only healthy to a certain extent, right? Like
I do want to meet the man who eats 8 avocados. Who eats 8 avocados?
He's so poor. Like
he's probably just made of a slippery substance.
Yeah, like also just why do you hate money so much? Like you're making a terrible investment. And you're probably green. Like
he's not healthy.
No, and he's just not healthy. No.
No.
R.I.P. to that guy.
Rest in peace, avocado man.
Yeah.
I'm happy not to have avocados because I think it's just a little, to be frank, a little pretentious.
It's very pretentious, and I think they're just hard to grow. I've been trying to grow one in my kitchen sill for my windowsill.
Yeah.
I saw a cool thing on on Pinterest on how to grow an avocado, and it's just not working out for me.
Let's talk about it. This is what I'm gonna. By the way, you're educating us how to
Yeah.
grow.
Okay. So
How do you grow an avocado?
So with avocados, what I gather is that they're like what you can do is you put them kind of like on like a mason jar because that's all over Pinterest. You put in like 4 toothpicks, but like one on each kind of side.
Right.
So that like it sits like on top of the mason jar, and you fill it with water, but enough so that it touches the pit of the avocado pit.
Okay.
And then eventually it's just supposed to like sprout its like little tendrils, its roots, I guess is what it's called. And then eventually you plant that, I think.
Just what you plant the tentacles. It appears.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like kind of like what is it like hydroponics or whatever.
Hydroponics.
Hydroponics,
with the marijuana.
With the marijuana, yeah, it's like water weight. Yeah, so like I think that's like a way to do that. But then once it sprouts, that's either you keep it there for a while and then you plant it. It's like same with I think lemongrass is the same way where it needs to be the roots need to be developed in water before you can transplant it to dirt.
Right. Okay.
Like how do these things exist in nature? I don't understand because that seems like
That's what
impossible.
That's what I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, I know that there's some seeds. So I also recently read this thing with seeds where if you want them to crack faster so that they grow faster, is you put them in, you soak them in water like for like 24 hours, say, maybe with something a little acidic like some coffee grounds, so that it kind of like cracks the shell a little bit, and then you plant them, and then they generally grow a lot faster than if you don't do that. The idea behind that is like animals will like eat these plants or these what have you, and they go through the whole like digestion process and the acids in their stomachs, and then they get pooped out and onto the ground. And by then these shells have had like enough like travel in them so that they've kind of cracked open a little bit. It makes it easier for
in the animal's body.
Yeah.
Talk about IBS.
Yeah, like all these seeds, like these poor animals with IBS, I'm sure. Yeah, but so then all these seeds come out and cracked and easier to grow, and so
you have to collect the shit though.
I mean, you could. So yeah, that's something.
That's what you're doing on your windowsill?
No,
You're
I
out there
didn't.
collecting
This
shit?
plant. No, I didn't swallow the avocado pit whole. I didn't poop it out. I just like kind of carved into it a little bit.
Right.
I don't have toothpicks to plug into it, so I've just been putting in this little bit of water. I think I see something coming out of it, but I'm a little bit worried that it might just be mold growing on the pit now. So I'll inspect that in the next couple of days. So we'll see what happens.
That's very exciting. I'm glad I brought you, the queen of agriculture. What you're bringing is important, though, because I know nothing. This is when I realized science has taught me nothing. And in elementary, what did I learn about science? Put baking soda in a volcano, sometimes it'll make a thing.
With vinegar.
Again, vinegar.
Again with the vinegar.
They never explained how to get the vinegar to the volcano.
No, and what's baking soda?
What is baking soda?
Like what? And why? And baking powder is different. Like what plants did that come from?
I don't care for it.
No, no, we don't need that unless people like to bake. But I think like your citizens, I don't know. I feel like things that taste good in pies like rhubarb, peaches, and apples and pumpkin also just taste better on their own and if you want healthy citizens too.
I do.
Yeah, I think staying away from some pies and stuff like that is like I'm like anti-pie. Screw pies. Because then you don't need to develop wheat and you don't need to develop like all those other things that usually don't do that because
I don't need bread.
That's the thing. Yeah, like it really is it just is a filler.
It really is.
That's all it is. It's like that's because you put your sandwich middles. If you just ate your sandwich insides, those are usually more nutritious than the casings. And
that's
like,
right.
Bread is just filler to make you feel full.
We're so cute. We have our cute little hands these days.
Yeah.
The bread are like napkins for the thing inside.
That's exactly it.
I hate bread.
I that's the thing. I go through moments where I love bakery bread and just putting butter on it. Like it just is great, but it is just it turns into sugar in your system, and it's like I just ate some cake. Like that's
right.
That's what I feel like. I'm like I have a headache. I ate so much cake just now.
I'm totally happy to do away with your breads,
the glutens,
your gluttons. I really am about keeping these citizens survive to endure the mental liberation we're going to bring upon them.
Yeah,
they're loving what I'm bringing thus far.
Yeah,
agriculture is the step to get us to maintain.
Yeah.
To live a beautiful life.
Yeah. And I think, having that would be great. I think something to be cautious of. I think you probably have to put fences up in your gardens because maybe your animals are going to come and graze upon them.
You're
so that's
probably
something,
right.
That's something to keep in mind. I just realized now, but
I also have a maintenance man.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he has clamp hands.
oh cool.
So he walks around with clamps, picks up our cigarette butts.
Oh, that's great.
It's great, but I don't.
You smoke in your.
We smoke a lot.
That's good. Okay, yeah.
You could
That's great.
smoke everywhere you want.
That's great. Yeah.
I don't want him going near the garden. So the fences are for him because he can't open the doors with his clamp hands.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. For
Good old
that.
Clampy.
I'm not worried about the animals.
Yeah. No,
We're cool.
they come eat. Yeah. It's
they're
all
cute.
circle.
They're cute.
Yeah. You can get the seeds from their poops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Can you eat human poop?
No, that's how you get a hepatitis.
I think the concept is here now. We can work with it.
Mm-hmm.
We can use agriculture in many different ways. Mostly this part, just bare nutrition, enough to keep us going.
Yeah.
We have the garden set up.
Yeah.
What else should we be doing? Should we be out there working, harvesting? How do you harvest?
I think it could be maybe like some sort of like farmer's market-ish thing where, yeah, you have like your select 5 people that you
Yes.
don't like going and do that.
Yes.
So like maybe like 2 of them do like the big main garden, and then 3 of them kind of do like the little gardens outside around the other or around the whole city. And that they go and they take care of that. That's their job, I guess, is like
That would be their job.
Yeah, so
100%.
to weed and water, make sure that the pests aren't too bad, and then harvesting and distributing it.
What would the pests be aside from clamp hands?
Besides clamp hands, probably aphids. Aphids, I'd say. I think like maybe caterpillars.
Caterpillars.
I'd say bunnies if you have hares, deers, some birds maybe if they're still in seed form, and depending on what you're growing, like if you have berries, I think birds eat berries. Bears eat things.
Bears eat things.
And then like I think
So be afraid of everything.
be afraid of everything. That's also like some plants work well together. There's this thing called it's 3 sisters. I know this is more of like on like in more eastern in the old world. But it's like the corn stalks grow in a way that helps the like squash grow, and then the beans and everything that grow lower, they keep pests from being able to like clamber around. Like they kind of trap pests, and it makes it really difficult for them to eat the things. So they all kind of work together and to ensuring that they all grow really tall and strong. So that's a way to like, if you can find like your natural pesticides and
Scarecrows.
yeah.
Can we talk about scarecrows?
Yes, please.
Can clamp hands be a scarecrow in himself?
I mean, like if it doesn't go against his union, then yeah, like that's absolutely like
Union means there's more than one person.
oh, so it's just clamp hands.
Yeah, I support unions.
Yeah, I think
he's not in one.
I think as long as he's okay with being known as a scarecrow. Is this like Jeepers Creepers? Is he eventually going to have like some sort of vendetta
He's
on
not
people?
I'll be honest with you. He's not kind of like that's a frontal lobe thing. He's not as smartest man I know. He'll be happy to do it. I pay him a good wage to do whatever I want.
Clamp hands.
So scarecrows. The idea is it's this thing that's in the garden that's big and large that scares caterpillars.
Crows. I think, don't they?
Touche. I knew you knew something. I knew you were bringing knowledge.
No.
Scarecrows. They scare crows.
Scarecrows.
Crows.
Yeah. I don't know. I think crows are cool.
Should I have like something that welcomes crows?
Yeah, the welcome crow. The good crow. You could put. Oh, I think it'd just be really cute. Like now, I'm picturing like scared caterpillars, like just like tiny little men that you put alongside your garden, like just to scare the little bugs. I'm putting that on Pinterest. That's what I'm making, and I'm putting that on Pinterest.
That I love everything about it.
Scare pests.
So I have a scare caterpillar. Clamp hands will be doing it from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. every single day.
Yeah.
This is just to please my citizens.
Okay.
Honestly,
good.
I've got food shipments coming in. Agriculture, to me, the only reason I'm doing it is to give clamp hands something else to do.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good that we are going to be growing food, and you've explained it well enough, and I do thank you for that.
Yes.
I will be installing a garden that will be maintained by 5 people.
Yes. That's good.
Just so the citizens know during the broadcast, it doesn't matter. I got the food supply coming in very shortly that will have your seeds, but also something else that I know you guys are really going to appreciate. Nevertheless, Dakota, thank you.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah. Any last words?
I'm gonna Google where vinegar comes from.
When you leave the jurisdiction, please Google it.
Yes.
Send me a message.
I will.
Because I have no idea where vinegar comes from.
Yeah. If I can find seeds for vinegar, I'll also throw those in there.
Vinegar seeds.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
vinegar seeds.
Well, thank you, Dakota.
Thank you for having me.
Citizens, and that is how easy it is. Okay? It's exactly like blowing smoke in a baby's face. That's all it takes. We had someone introduce the concept of a garden, and we've got 5 gardeners who keep your eyes peeled. You know, if you are chosen as one of the 5 gardeners, please take that as a sign of appreciation from the mayor. That means I entrust you. I think you have good hands, and you'll be great. And I hope you guys enjoy that role as gardeners. And the rest of the citizens, enjoy the spoils. Enjoy the spoils of agriculture. Of, getting in there. That's what we're doing. We're getting in there. We have the concept. We're going to shuffle over a couple seeds, throw them down, right? You throw them down, you kind of pour some mud and this and that. I hope you guys listened, and I hope you guys are going to educate. Because what Dakota said, I'm sure a lot of it is applicable, and you guys are going to have to kind of maybe rewind the broadcast even and kind of learn the tools of the trade. But I'm thrilled about it. I just ordered the shipment of seeds. We're gonna get that in there. I still don't know where vinegar comes from, and I feel like that's a personal fault. I feel like that's on me. I'll be coming down to see you guys tonight at the bar. Have a couple of beers, and we'll talk about that. I'm sure one of you guys, one of the 50, must know how vinegar is produced. I don't feel good about my lack of knowledge now. And I feel like I'm being honest with you guys. So we'll have a chat about it tonight, okay? But for now, we have it. We have food. We are living in utopia now. I really feel it. I feel it in the air. I hope you guys eat safe, be safe. I'll see you tonight. I am your mayor.
She gon' pop that.